It's November, it's Sunday, and this is Tabletop Baseball Plus. This is kind of like getting back on the horse after a little bit of time away, hoping that I don't fall off. This is Tenacious Earl, and I need to get back into this. It has been way too long. Rolling games, the last thing I pretty much rolled was a Slacker Tour event that was not on the channel, and it's been a good time of all sorts of other things, but it's time to get back to this, and hopefully the rest of you agree. So let's get right to it here with the Angels. Angels and Baltimore Orioles. This is game 228 of the Tenacious Baseball League, the 2016 season. Again, it's been a while since we've done this, so 10 teams picked random. This is the type of league I have done pretty consistently for the baseball thing for the last few years. Granted, this league has lasted for a good portion of those years because the first league I ran, it was pretty much the only thing I was doing. This league, I've had golf, soccer, football, all sorts of other things kind of like streamed into that at the same time, so it's kind of like made this process a little bit longer. But the whole theory that I had when I started doing the leagues that I've done here on the channel and on my other channel, Tenacious Strat, were what I wanted was a league that I thought was somewhat of a science experiment. So I wanted to test having 10 teams chosen randomly, hoping to get a couple good teams, a couple bad teams, a couple teams in the middle in that process, and to play them out. And one of the things that was desired for me was to see how things such as the balance of divisions, maybe a team that played in a tough division would, and maybe finished middle or a little bit lower, could actually succeed again in a sort of like a 10-team division with other teams that were maybe in divisions that were weaker, or vice versa. So I just thought the dynamics of that would be neat. And so we are currently in the 16th series of 18 in this second version of the league that I've done, and my goal is to try to have this completed by the end of the year. If I would prefer sooner, but lately life has been pretty crazy with a lot of different things coming into the fold, and so that's why we are where we are now, and it's been a couple of years trying to get this league completed. So it will be Alex Meyer, who pitches for Los Angeles, who are at the bottom of the standings here. Baltimore in fourth place, 24-20. They are, I guess, a game ahead of the Marlins, who actually have 2 games more played. So they have 2 games in hand, one because of a rain out and one just because of the schedule. So we will see if Baltimore can edge closer to Toronto, who are also a game ahead of them. But again, it's like Baltimore has 2 games in hand. If they could sweep this series on the Angels, it would essentially put them into a virtual tie in a way over with Toronto, depending on how the rest of their series finishes. Just so we know, the first game in that series, Mets and Toronto, pretty big series. The Mets did win that game by a score of 10-5. Oh, I guess I should turn this over now. 10-5. I did not play it on the channel. I wish I had, because it's been so long, and yeah. So anyway, what better way to get back on the horse than to show you the video of me getting back on the horse, and we will see how that goes, if we win the Breeders' Cup or if we fall into a crumbling heap and break some kind of appendage or bust my head open. So okay, hi Larry, good morning, glad to see you. Thank you for your comment yesterday, and I don't really want to discuss the happenings of the last day or so too much, but suffice it to say, I'm in a pretty decent mood. So let's just move on here. So Angels line up against Dylan Bundy, pitching for the Orioles. That'll be Andrelton Simmons at short, and then Cole Calhoun in right, Mike Trout center field, C.J. Cron at first. Cliff Pennington is going to be at second base. Jeffrey Marte at third. This was a period of time when the Angels were in some flux in their season. They were trying to get some younger guys in. I think they also had a few injuries. This is right before Yunel Escobar came back and it's played some more third for them. So Marte gets to start at third. Nick Buss in left. Jet Bandy catching, and Alex Meyer will be on the mound for them, batting ninth against Dylan Bundy. So let's go ahead and play some Angels and Orioles 2016 season Stratomatic Super Advanced Baseball. Hopefully I don't mess up the super advanced rules too much. I think I still got them in my head. Although, as I said, it's been a while. 6'9", righty. That's going to be a hit of some sort, 1-3 on the D20. So let's just, anybody new? We roll 3 D6s. One is a single color, the other are the same color. The single color is red first. The other two are added up in the sum. So the first, your column either goes 1, 2, 3 for the hitter, 4, 5, 6 for the pitcher. We have left or right. Both pitchers are right-handed. So when we look at the batter card, we look at the right-handed side when you have a right-handed pitcher. For the pitcher's card, we look at the handedness of the batter. And so this is a right-handed batter. We'll look over here. So it's 6, 9. And that means we go down here and look. And this particular selection says it's either a double, 1-3. So we roll a D20. It's a 20-sided die. Got it right here. Orioles colors, just because it's an Orioles home game. And so each side is 5%. So we've got a 15% chance that it's a double, 1-3. The rest would be a single. So we will roll it out, and that will give us our result. We'll write it on our score sheet, and we will be off. So that is a 10. Although I need to slide that a little bit farther forward. And so that is a single for Simmons. Good start for the Angels. I'm not going to go through all of the mechanics, but that's kind of like if you're just new to this and you want to get into Stratomatic, start with basic. With basic, you don't have to worry about the handedness. Right here is a basic. This is also an advanced card, but actually no, this is not an advanced card. My bad. It's still a little early for me. This is a basic card. You don't have to worry about handedness. Advanced does add in the handedness, but you have 1, 2, 3. You have 4, 5, 6. So it's really easy. Play a game probably even for a beginner in under an hour, although you would have to definitely check some rules. So it's probably maybe a little bit more, but you get the hang of it really, really quickly. But then eventually you probably say to yourself, man, I kind of like the idea that the batters and the pitchers each are less effective against certain styles of pitchers, so certain handed, so it just adds a depth to it. But like I said, I'm not going to go through the whole mechanism, but we do have a chance here possibly to steal with Simmons. Dylan Bundy in this super advanced motif has a hold of +6, so 0 is neutral, minus means he's good at holding, plus means he's bad. The most that you can adjust when you take the pitcher's hold and the catcher's arm here is Wieters, he's -2, would be a +5 or a -5. In this case we have +6, -2 equals +4. So we will use that as the modifier when we see here, and we're going to take this number, which is a 4, we're going to roll the 2 D6s that are the same color, the orange. If they sum up to 4, he gets the chance to steal on this really good number. This is called the good lead. That means he got a good lead off the bag. If he doesn't, then we have to go with a 6 and a little other modification. But just again, 19 is, it's the starting point. Then you add the 4. You can't. The highest you can go is 19. But just for simplicity's sake, because we can, during the process of calculating, we can add. So 9 plus 4 is 23. Then you subtract 2, because with a good lead, if he is held, and we are assuming everybody gets held in this game, you do subtract 2 from a good lead, you subtract 4 from a bad. So that 23 goes down to 21. Still 19 is the highest. But we still need to roll these first to see if he gets 4. If he doesn't get 4, then he has to go off the poor lead, which we're not going to do, because then you do the add, you do the math, that would be a 1 to 6 out of a 20. And it's 6, so he does not get a good lead, so he's just going to hold on at first. Now, we bring up Cole Calhoun. He's pretty good at hitting and running. We could still try to hit and run. We know that it's a 1 to 6 chance for Simmons, even with a bad lead. So, because there are some hit and run results that would get you, batter misses the pitch that's thrown, and thus it becomes a stolen base situation on that bad lead. I think we're just going to have Cole Calhoun hit. So we roll the D20. This is a mechanism to determine wild pitches, balks, and passed balls. If it's a 1 or a 2, that's when I will explain it further, but it's a 15, so we don't have to worry. And we roll again. 6-5 for a lefty. So lefty, we look on this side of Bundy's card. It's a ground ball to shortstop, X. And my charts are here. So when we see an X, so A, B, and C are all automatic outs. X is a check of the fielder. So that's where your fielder's ability gets thrown in there. So the shortstop here for the Orioles is J.J. Hardy. His rating is 2 for range, means he's pretty good range. 1 is the best, 2 is pretty good, 3 is average, 4 less than average, 5 no range at all. Lots of balls will get through against them. But Hardy being a 2 E8, pretty good fielder. Now the other thing we have to understand too is that because we are holding Simmons, we're holding all runners, then there's an additional thought process you have to go through to say, okay, this shortstop is a 2 range. A left-handed batter is going to mean that the second baseman is the one who has to stay home. The shortstop is going to be the one who is responsible for covering. So a first, when there's a guy on first and a left-handed batter's up, the shortstop and the first baseman both are affected in the range by that. So we have to add 1 to Hardy's range. And not only that, when you look at this chart here, what you'll do is you'll roll your D20, and that's this particular mechanism. And this is the range. You see here, for a 2, normally you can kind of ignore these number symbols. For a 2-rated fielder, only 2 of them become singles, right? The rest are not. Now, for a 2 who's become a 3, because he's having to hold a runner on, you have 4, plus these number symbols, these little pound signs here, which do come into play because when there's a pound sign, if there's a runner held, if an infielder's holding a runner, or if the infield is playing in, these guys also become single with 2 base advance. So for the runner. So essentially, J.J. Hardy goes from a 1 to 2 fielder in a normal situation. So even with a right-handed batter, there would only be a 10% chance that ball would get through against him. In this case, it's a 40% chance it's going to go through. So let's see, a 1 to 8 on this 3, but it's a 16, so he does get to it. Now we check here on the 16, and it's a G1, which means that is going to be a double play ball as long as he doesn't make an error. So then that's the first check in Super Advanced, is you check the range and then you check the error. So for a shortstop, E8, The only rolls are 16, 17, and when we say 16, 17, and 18, that means we are summing up 3d6 roll. So that 16, 17, and 18 are 3 of the least common rolls you can get. So it would have to be a real outlier, and it isn't. So that's going to be a double play. So Hardy gets Simmons at second by tossing it to Jonathan Scope, and then Scope throws to first. Chris Davis makes the out, and that's 2 outs. So perhaps we should have tried hitting and running there. I believe if they hit and run, that would have still been a double play, though. So nobody on. Mike Trout up. This is probably a situation he has faced many times in his career. We get another 6 roll, 6-8. That's a strikeout. Right-handed batter, strikeout, ends the inning. So not a 1-2-3 inning, but faces the minimum. And we will go to the bottom of the first with no score. So a little bit of lesson here. I don't know how much more I will do of lesson time, but just keep trying to show stuff to people who are new to the game. Because at the moment, I don't see a ton of people playing Strat out here. There are a few, but, you know, there's a lot of other games going on. So it's always good to have variety. And again, I just would like to a little bit apologize to the followers of the channel here for my absence. It makes it probably worse because Tabletop Earl isn't here either. He has been on a little bit longer of an absence, and I think that's going to continue. But I'm going to try and keep with this a little bit more here. Sometimes it's just getting the juices flowing again. Remembering how to fire up all the video stuff, and also I'll talk more about that later. Let's get going. So, with bottom of the first, Hardy at short will lead off. Adam Jones in center field will bat second, and then Manny Machado, the third baseman, now a Padre, but in 2016 still an Oriole. He'll bat third. Chris Davis at first base, much maligned Chris Davis over the years, last couple of years. We'll clean up Mark Trumbo, the right fielder. Big guy, big hitter. Bat fifth. Steve Pearson left. Jonathan Scope, second base. Bat seventh. Matt Wieters, the catcher. Eighth, and the pitcher Bundy ninth. Both pitchers using the pitcher's hitting card numero uno. And we're going to go with Hardy. That's a 4-5. Finally, we get something other than 6. And that's just strikeout. So, look here. Right-handed hitter, Alex Meyer, and that's a strikeout on the pitcher's card. Have yet to have a hitter's roll. Adam Jones with 1 out. 1-7, there we go. And against a righty, if we look on the 1 column and to the 7 result, we have a 10% double chance. So this is kind of a similar roll to what we had with Andrelton Simmons in the first, but this is a 1-2 split. It's a 19, so that will be a single. So with 1 out, Jones knocks one into center. It's going to be fielded by Trout. No chance to do anything with that other than just think about how they're going to get Manny Machado. So again, we roll this D20. It's a 9, so nothing there. That's a 3-11. Okay, so here is an interesting result. Let's see if we can get it to show up a little better here. So, kind of bright, but so this is what is called a ballpark adjustment factor, or some. I should really look up what they call that. I always say that, but it's kind of a nebulous thing. So, in the regular old game, in the advanced version, you would just use this guy, the 11, the fly ball to left. That would be the final out. Now, If you're in super advanced, you have to use this little adjustment factor, which is, I assume it's just kind of like a fine tuning. But so this, in this case, it's going to be a SI1 star. So that means there's no run. There is a runner on, so that becomes a 1 base advance. So Jones would go to second base. If it's 16 to 20 on the D20 roll, then it becomes a line out to short, and that would end the inning. So let's roll it out here. It's a 5, so that will be a single for Machado. Strolling into second is going to be Adam Jones, and so I didn't mention this on Jones's card, but we have some similar ones here. Like this double single split here. The 2 stars means the runner advances 2 bases. The stars on a card mean that. So 2 on, 2 out for Chris Davis. Again, we roll the D20 for all the potential running stats, things like that. For okay, 5-3. That's kind of a low sum there. Let's see what happens on the left-handed side. Ballpark normal homer. Okay, so our ballpark factors, singles are 9s. So that's a roll of the D20 on a ballpark single, which is a filled in. We don't have any on Chris Davis's card because he doesn't hit too many singles. We have one right here, so it's like the filled in diamond that's pointed down. That's a ballpark single. For a ballpark homer, it's a diamond. And for lefties here at Camden Yards, so this is also including weather effects, it's 14 for a left and 11 for a right. So we're going to see what happens here. 1 to 14 would be a 3-run homer, and Baltimore would take an early 3-0 lead off Alex Meyer's card. And it is a 7. It is gone. Chris Davis with a big tater ball. Meyer leaves it hanging, and he drives it deep and out. And this could be a long game for the Angels, as looked like they were going to potentially start cruising with a early strikeout, but then 3 base runners in a row. Well, 2 base runners in a row, and then Chris Davis with the big bomb, and it's 3-0. So still only 1 out. It'll be Mark Trumbo, who can do the same thing himself plenty of times. 1-8, and that will be a walk. So still kind of flustered there. Alex Meyer not making good pitches. Steve Pierce still 1 out, runner at first. They are holding Trumbo, even though there's probably not much reason to. 5-8. Right-hander. That's a grounder to second base. With Cliff Pennington there, this is a good chance. Although it is, again, here's another situation where you end up with the fielder having his rating adjusted because he has to hold the runner on. So Pennington becomes a 3. Same situation as before. But we get a 20, so that's good for the Angels. That means this is going to be a double play as long as the E4 for the second baseman, which is either a 3, a 17, or an 18 on the ad, and it's going to be a good play made, so that's going to end the inning. So, unfortunately, so 4-6-3 ends it, but that's 3 runs. Unfortunately for the Angels, that ballpark homer chance came up at the most inopportune time with 2 on. And Chris Davis made no doubt about it. So 3-0 going to the second inning. And I do realize we've taken 25 minutes to play 1 inning. So let's go into a little bit more of moving along mode. So watch some of our other videos if you want to see especially some of my earlier videos, if you want to see the full description of other mechanics. I'll probably just try and be a little bit more try and move this along. 4-7 righty is a walk. So this is the one saving grace for LA, is that the Orioles pitcher here, Bundy, is not so great either. So, and I think Bundy ends up with the Angels as well. So Pennington with Crone held at first. Crone not going to be trying anything. 3-6. That'll be a fly ball to left. The A, B, and C, those are all basically indicators of how the runners move, but it's a B, so there's no movement with a guy on first. That'll be caught by Pierce. 1 out. Jeffrey Marte. 1-7. It's going to be a double play ball. Grounder to short. 6-4-3 ends the inning. No runs, no hits, and nobody left. So again, Bundy has faced the minimum. I've added a screen to my desktop here, which has created a little less room for me, but it also lets me see the chat. So feel free to throw a chat down if you're in here and want to say hi. I'm ready, willing, and able to converse. It will add a little bit of time, but I don't care. It's Sunday morning. 1-3. That's a grounded third. That's going to be Marte playing third base today, and he throws to first for the out. Matt Wieters, 2-5, and he's going to walk, so that gives the pitcher a chance to bunt rather than hit off his pitcher's hitting card number 1. So Dylan Bundy is a C bunter. We're going to say they play the infield in. The corner's in, expecting a bunt, so that's going to go to a D bunter. D7, I think that gets the job done. Where's my bunt chart? D7 is a sacrifice. So with 2 outs, he moves him along. Sack. That should be pitcher. Meyer throws to first, and so now J.J. Hardy with the runner in scoring position. And here we go with a 1, so this is going to be a potential wild pitch. So we look at Meyer's wild pitch rating. He's a 20, so we really don't even have to roll up 1 to 20. He's in wild pitch, so he's going to go to third. Wieters at third. Hardy at the plate, 2 outs. Hey, Glenn, good morning. Can Hardy knock him home? And it is a 4-4 righty. And it's a grounded third base. It's Marte. Oh boy. This is one place I don't usually hold runners other than maybe speed runners. And actually, I wouldn't even say I hold any runners, probably. So Wieters not being held. So we're going to say Marte is a 3. 3-20, so he's going to get to it. Now, the E18 is a little bit dicey here. So E18 and 11. Third base, E18 and 11 is an error. We add these up. 9 and 2 is 11. That is going to be an E5, and that's an unearned run, so it's 4-0 now. Bad luck for Alex Meyer. Had his way out of the inning there, and his fielder let him down. So Adam Jones now, runner at first. Could try to run with Hardy, but let's not. Actually, I don't even know if he really runs too much. 2-9, though, is a grounder back to Meyer. He's like, I'm going to do this myself, guys, because you guys suck. And especially you, Marte. So, 1 run, no hits. Although it was his walk that did the damage. But the error on Marte did the real damage. It's 4-0 going to the third. All right. So get on the Nick bus here. And we'll take a drive against Bundy, 1-5. He's going to crank 1 into the corner. That's going to roll around out there, and Bus is going to roll in the second with a double. So that's a good way to start the inning for the Angels. Bandy. Oh, so there's 2 on the D20, which is, we then have to roll 1d6 1 to 3 is a balk. 4 to 6 is a chance at a passed ball. Well, it's not a balk. You have to check. You have to check for balks. You have to check for passed ball. In this case, we check for passed ball. Weeders is out there. His passed ball rating is a 0. So we don't have to worry about it. So we just say that's completed. We do the full roll. 3-8 is a strikeout. So second strikeout for Bundy. Bundy against Bandy. That's kind of interesting. I don't know how many times that's happened. With Bus at second, we're not going to try sacrificing. That doesn't make too much sense. I feel like you could have a chance of throwing the runner out at third. So let's just have him swing away. 2-4 is a strikeout. Third one for Bundy. And now Simmons. Can he get the runner home? 3-7 is a single to left. We're going to have a play at the plate potentially. And I think we are going to send Bus. And in fact, no play at the plate. We're just going to say he scores. They're going to throw into second, keep Simmons at first. And it's 4-1 now as the Angels get their first run. An RBI for Andrelton Simmons as Pierce just decides to not challenge the runner. Let him trot home, especially with the off on contact 2 outs. All right, so Simmons at first. Let's try and get him a lead. Need a sum of 4. Gets 7, so it is not going to be that way. No lead for Simmons. Cole Calhoun, 5-12. Lefty is a grounder to first. Chris Davis, 1-11. He is holding, so that's going to be a 2-11. 17, he gets to it. So this should, let's see, the E11. The worst number to, the toughest, or the most common number is an 8 as the sum. That would lead to it, but that's going to be a 13, which is a play made. So he will have enough time to take it the bag himself. They do get a run, chipped back into that 4-run lead, so now it's 3. 4-1 going to the bottom of the inning. So starting to get along here some. I spent a little bit of time talking about things early on, so that's why this game is moving along a little slower. I was explaining some things. 6-10. Righty is a grounder to short. Simmons 1, E14. No runners on, so stays a 1. So he gets to it on the 17, and then now a 16. Let's hope Simmons makes that play on the E14, and he does. 4, 5, and 17 are errors. 6-3 is the scoring. A great play by Andrelton Simmons, 1 out. Oh, I didn't need to roll that. Nobody on base. Chris Davis, already gone here once. And he's going to draw a walk. Meyer gets a little bit skittish of facing him, and that could make him pay with Trumbo coming up right behind. They are holding Davis. 2-10. That one is popped. It is gone. Home run, Mark Trumbo. That's the trouble when you put on Chris Davis. You then have Trumbo right there to make you pay. So each of the big guys have their homer in this game, and it is now 6-1. And boy, oh boy, the Angels have to start thinking about maybe using their bullpen some. Fortunately for them, they did have a day off, so they've got lots of guys at their disposal. The downside is these lots of guys they have are not very good. Like you have Oberholzer, who is a Delaware product, from what I understand. A lot of 1 inning. You got a couple 2 inning guys, Octor and Guerra. Let's get Let's get Deolis Guerra warming up here just to see if they can shut this down here at some point. Well, let's keep, but they're going to let Meyer keep going. He's not tired yet, but or ineffective, but I guess that depends on who you ask, maybe. All right, wait, nobody on base, didn't need to roll that. 6-9, that is going to be a grounder to short. Simmons, 1E14, it's a 4. He still gets to that on the 1 with nobody on base. And that is an 8. He is going to make the play there. We already know that was, I think, 4, 15, and 18. So, scope, 2 outs, and didn't need to roll that. I keep doing that. See, I'm a little out of practice. 2-4 is a grounder to Meyer, and he will get out of the inning. But 2 runs across, and things just keep getting worse for the Angels. It's going to be weird going to a season at some point when we have the opener thing. I don't know how I'm going to work that. The next one that I do, I mean, I'll probably use History Maker Baseball, but it's going to be a little weird. So Bundy, one run so far on, looks like 3 hits. So he's been playing okay. Pitching pretty decent here. 4-12 righty. Grounder to Davis. He's a good fielder there. 1E11, 1-18. He gets to it. E11. That's a 9. I think that does make the play. I think that was. Well, 6, 8, and 15. 9 is okay. So we'll call it 3-1. Pitcher has to cover. Speedy Trout. 1 down. CJ Crone. 1-7, a grounder to shortstop. A lot of trouble in that 1 column, but that's the one where Hardy gets to it and throws to first for the out. Just misses. Cliff Pennington. 4-9 lefty is going to be a base hit. Can he stretch it into a double? No. With Marte up, who has some pop, they're not going to try stealing with Pennington at all. A really slim chance. Anyway, 1-4. Ballpark single opportunity. 1-9 is a single. Otherwise, it is a 5. So a single. Ballpark singles are a 1 base advance. So first and second with 2 outs. And a little bit of a rally start in here. Can Nick Buss play the hero and get them right back in this game? He needs a 1 column roll here. That would be the best. But 5-9 lefty. Ooh boy. He is not normal though, but this will get a run home either way. And maybe 2. 1-12 is a single 2-star on this 5-9. Otherwise it's a double. That's 13, so that is a double. That's the better roll. And let's see. Are we gonna try and have them score Marte? That's the question. So 1 run across. Marte barreling into third. What's the coach gonna say here? And see, this is where I get a chance to think about it. Other guys don't. Just a second. I need to stand up for a second here. I got a little bit of a cramp. 12, yeah, you get to 14, but then you're talking Adam Jones with a -2 arm, and you need runs, but they could also put Bandy on and bring up, well, you're already talking about thinking of a pinch hitter. So I mean, that's not the. I think they're going to have to hold. I think they have to hold Marte here. So let's hold him. Maybe not the wise move. Maybe if he had challenged the throw, then they would have, they would have thought better of it and just sent it in there so Buss doesn't get the easy chance to come home on a wild pitch or something like that. So let's hold him. They're going to intentionally walk Bandy to get to Meyer. Although you're thinking to yourself, why would they want Meyer to come out? But let's just play it this way. Thinking like a Major League Baseball manager, and so with bases loaded, there will be a pinch hitter, and it'll be Pujols. This is what, the 4th inning, so it's an early pinch hitter, and it's an early hook for Meyer, but he's given up 6 runs, not all of them earned. But okay, so with 2 outs, Pujols a chance here to take it deep and make this more of a game. And we've got a 3-10. Oh my word. I may have actually done them a big favor here, although it is a ballpark homer, and righties, it's only a 50% chance, or well, 55%. 1-11 would be a homer here on the ballpark. Can they get the grand salami for the pinch hitter, Pujols? It is an 18. It's caught, and that is the end of the inning. Caught in left, dies at the track. They do get 1 run. It's now 6-2. What a chance there for Pujols, and he just didn't quite get enough of it. Shame. Hello, John Wise. Thank you. I actually put this together myself a few years ago, and I actually just recently, it's been a few months now. It seems recent because it was a few games ago in this league. But I took it to Staples and had them run off a bunch of copies. So I really like the fact that here, hang on a second. I'm gonna get out my box here, do a little bit of advertisement. I'll use the British terminology, but nice. They give it to you a nice box. I still got a bunch of pages left here to use, which is great. But I love the fact, they put it on pretty sturdy paper. I love that. So this has a much lower chance of getting all scuffed up, and I do like to keep binders of my stuff. I don't know about you, but that's me. I like to kind of hold on to things because I don't know. I've got stuff from the Phillies replay. I still really haven't looked back at my Phillies replay stuff too much. Excuse me, I gotta get a cord ended up on the floor here, and I need to pick it up, or else it's gonna, something bad might happen to it. I've had a case where I have this stool, and I had an extension cord just sitting on the ground that happened to be plugged in, and I sat on it enough to the point where it shorted it out, and there was a big old spark, and no fire or anything, just there went the cord, and fortunately no shock, no injury, no loss of property or health, but still it kind of like made me think to myself, I really need to pay a little bit better attention to how my cords are stacked up, especially being somebody who's done enough fire service trainings and whatnot to know better. All right, so Deolis Guerra is going to come in here and pitch the bottom of the 4th. Meyer goes 3 innings. I definitely created a line there for the ratings, and it makes it flow more quickly, and there are a lot of things. I don't know if you're an experienced player or if you're someone who's relatively new. You get to play in this so much, and you begin to even see some of the you get to learn some of the way that the ratings are set up, and so if you've got a good fielder, there the common roles are pretty quickly for the error checks if you're playing super advanced, at least. And score books from I wish I just sat down and scored for fun more. I do like doing it. It's just, it's kind of tough to find the time to spend to do that. 6-11 is a ballpark single chance for Wieters. Oh, wait a second. Wieters against a righty, he's batting from the left. He's a switch hitter, so it's going to be a grounded to first instead. So that'll be Crone. It'll be an unassisted putout. Okay, Bundy up. 4-8. And for Bundy, a righty, that is going to be a double. So the pitcher's card hit for the opposing pitcher. One of the, what I feel is one of the tougher parts of the of this kind of mechanism is you probably get a little bit of inflated pitcher's stats. But anyway, 5-6 is a I was going to say single. I misread that completely. I haven't played in a little while, so I'm kind of like, so the 5-6 is going to be a ground at third base with Bundy on second, though no advance. 5-3 is your scoring as Marte completes that play. And now 2 outs for Adam Jones. 6-5 righty. It's a potential single. A 1-3 would do it. It's a 13, though. That'll be a liner to short to end the inning. So a little bit more of a routine inning there for Deolis. Trying to, speaking of fire service, put the fire out. And he did, at least for one inning. 6-2 is the score going to the 5th. Bundy going into his inning of weakness. Inning of weakness for new players to the game. You take the number in the parenthesis for the starter, which is 5. On the basic side, I don't think there is one. So you don't really have that kind of mechanism, but advanced and super advanced. You take that, so the 5th inning is his inning of weakness. And if he allows in any inning after his, or from his inning of weakness forward, if he allows either 3 singles, 2 singles and a walk, 2 walks and a single, or 3 walks, that means he becomes weak, and anything that has a dot next to it, any result that we've got a couple strikeouts here, a couple there, those become single with 2 stars. That's how they work the fatigue and kind of like push you to make substitutions. The relief mechanism's a little different and a little confusing for people at times. Maybe at some point here I will talk about that. But let's go with Simmons. 5-4 righty is a fly ball to center field. Adam Jones, good range 2. And a 16, he gets to it. See, I don't even have to look at the chart because I know that 16 for a 2 range is fine. And then an E2, so if he gets any sum in the 8, so 7 I'll check, although I'm pretty sure still that's not an error. But anything from 8 to 12, if your rating is lower than, I believe, 8 in the outfield, you're in good shape. So he is an E2. It would have to be a 3, a 17, or an 18 to be an error. That's going to be a play made, caught by Adam Jones, 1 out. So that makes Simmons 2 for 3 in the game. Cole Calhoun, 3-8, potential single there. 1-6 is, it's a 9. It's the little line under the 9, and it's going to be a liner to Scope. 2 away, and the Millville Meteor. 6-5 is a grounder to shortstop. That's going to be J.J. Hardy. 2 E8 with nobody on base. 2 and 18 gets to it. And there's a 13 on an E8. That's still going to be a play made. I think it's 16, 17, 18 on the E8. So 6-3 is the scoring 1-2-3 inning for Bundy. He has pitched pretty well. 2 runs allowed through 5 innings of work. 21 batters faced, and we're going to the bottom of the 5th. Deolis will pitch another inning. 6-2 is the score. On Sunday, November 8th, already. Well, we already know what's happened this week, and still not potentially not over, but it's a fly out to Trout. Trout out. How about that? Chris Davis on twice, scored twice. A big 3-run homer in the first inning. 2-7 is another walk. He's reached every time now. 2 walks, a homer. And Deolis may find out the deal with Mark Trumbo walking Chris Davis. Let's see what happens here. It is a 1-6. That's probably a line out. 20% chance of a single. 1-4. It's a 16, so that will be a liner to third. 2 outs. But you know, I think it's tough not to. Oh boy, that's a double. Double for Pierce. Straight double with Davis running. We're gonna try to score him. Might as well try. It's let's see. And where is this? This is the left field. 6-9 is a double to center, so you've got Trout -1 arm. So it's a 1-13 chance. That's still better than. So when you do a play at the plate, you do the runner speed. That's 12 for Davis. You add 2 if there's 2 outs. Subtract. Okay, actually, I'm wrong. I was wrong before. So you add 2. Then for being 2 outs, but you subtract 1 because the runner is held. I'm holding all runners, so that makes it 13. And then you subtract out the arm of the player, so that's a 12. So still a 60% chance is probably better than Jonathan Scope with his probably, we'll say 400, maybe 450. You could also factor in maybe a wild pitch or balk or any of those things, but I think 60% works. 1-12, and it's a 19. Man, those high numbers have been coming. He's thrown out, so we're going to go 8-6-2, ends the inning. So no runs there. Orioles fans will think I gypped them. One mighty. Steve Pierce is upset that he didn't get his RBI, but that's the way it goes. Play the numbers and lose, and the third base coach is going to be fired after the game. And guess what? He'll have to fall back on his day job. Okay, Crone going to the 6 now. 2-7. Oh no, 2-6. My bad. Potential single 1-11. There it is. Will the Angels rally now? This could be a little spicy here. If Trout got lucky, that's true. Yep. That D20 just went from 2 to 19, or it was like, you're 9 to 19. I don't know. It was like 5-4 batting from the left side. It's a fly ball to center field. Now this would be the ultimate unluck if somehow Jones doesn't get to this. 2 range and 20. He is going to get to it. No advance will happen here. And that's a 10, so he does make the play. 1 out on Pennington. So Bundy here still going in the 6. He does have 1 hit now. So the other thing I didn't mention about weakness is if you get the addition of 4 of those over 2 innings as well. So walks and hits, if you add them together and it equals 4 in 2 innings or 3 in a single inning, that means the pitcher then becomes weak. So Marte, runner at first, 3-4. And there is your classic inning-ending double play. 6-4-3. Hardy to Scope to Davis. We'll throw a 0 into the scoreboard, and we will move on to the bottom of the 6th. And I didn't get a pitcher up for the Angels. I think we're going to have to call that it for Guerra. He's got a 2-inning rating, and I don't like doing too many more than that if I can help it. And who's coming up? Scope, Wieters, Bundy. They'll probably pinch hit for Bundy. they're going to use Jose Valdez, a one-inning guy, just because they know they're going to pinch hit for the pitcher spot come the bottom of the 7th. So Guerra goes 2. And Scope will be the first to face Jose Valdez. You may say, what's this card, Earl? So when you buy a set of strat cards, usually you just get, so in the base set, you just get basically probably the 27 or 28 most common players for the team. You may get some add-ons for that. Then you can buy the extra players. Those cards are just like that too, and that's a few more for each team. If you really want to be able to play with everybody that a team used in a season, you then would probably have, what I did was, and what you might want to do, there's a couple different ways you can do it. They also have an app you can subscribe to where you could get cards of any player. But if you buy the Strat PC game, which is how I keep track of my stats and everything, and you buy the card images, you could then, what I've done is I've taken the card image for each player that is not included in the set, used the snipping tool to paste it into PowerPoint, resized to be the right size to be basically the same dimensions as the cards themselves, and then printed them out, and they work pretty well. They've held up pretty nicely with this level card stock that I use. So, hey Dave, good to see you, man. So it's going to be Scope here. Go Dodgers. Not a Dodgers game, but that's okay. I'm not, I don't, maybe you're thinking Angels, but I thought maybe that was kind of a tongue-in-cheek fun one. So, and here on the pitcher's card now is Valdez's trouble. So some of the nomenclature, they use little symbols on these in the card images. So that little pound symbol right there, it's kind of tough to see. Next to the 9 on the 4-9, that is a ballpark home run check. So we got to give this a check here on the 1-11 for Scope. He is normal power, and it's a 10, so it is gone 7-2. The Orioles get another one. They're pounding the ball here as they're trying to solidify a playoff spot. It's okay, Dave. I thought you were being kind of funny. It was actually a funny... since they won, I thought maybe... So this is ground to third base X of Marte 3, E18, 20. Oh, okay. And a 12. Let's see. So 20, he definitely gets to it. And let's see on the 12 for an E18. I think it's still fine. We checked it before, but... And it is. So that's a play made. Strat before church. That's right. Gonna check out the live stream at 10:30 for my church. Oh, the pitcher spot. Yeah, we said we were going to pinch hit for Bundy. He has been playing pretty well, but why tempt fate? So let's see. Who do we have for Baltimore available? A little stuffy here today. So Brock, Givens, and Hunter were both used last game. So let's see, when was Worley last used? 2 days ago. Let's have Vance Worley come in and see if he can shore things up a little bit. And let's give Drew Stubbs his first pinch hit. Actually, no, let's not. I'm going to go with... yeah, let's go with Drew Stubbs. This is his first appearance for the Orioles. Oops, I need to put it in the other spot. I don't know. I could have picked a lefty. Could also pick Bourne. Maybe I should pick a lefty. Yep, they called him back. They said, you know what, let's actually match up. Called him back to the dugout. Said, Drew, you just wait. I'm going to give Ryan Flaherty a shot. I could go with Michael Bourne. He's also joined, but let's go with Flaherty. Hasn't gotten too much play here in the league, so let's give him a pinch hit shot here. So with one out, it's a 112. And the 112 is going to be a potential single there for Flaherty. 1-7. And that's not going to get the job done, so that will be a liner to second. So poor Flaherty, he finally gets a shot to pinch hit, and he bungles it. So Hardy, yeah. So this is the 2016 set. It does say it, and I know the title of the video looks a little bit like gibberish, but that does have an indication. That's a grounder back to Valdez for the out. So 1 run on the home run by Scope. And it is 7-2 Orioles over the Angels so far. But that does signify the year. The version 2.0, as this is my second time doing this league. And some of you might say, man, you should do a historic league. And I may eventually get to one, something that's a little bit like 50s or 60s. Obviously, I feel like a lot of the projects done with those teams from yore are the best teams. So, it might be interesting to try and get a tenacious league together that was something from one of the golden eras, but not ending up having. Well, I mean, if it did happen, and they had like a Yankees or Cubs or whatever during that particular era. Not that the Cubs won too much, but titles, but they don't. But they had some good teams during that series time frame as well. So, Giants, whatever. I mean, just to get some of the teams that you wouldn't know as much from those eras, and just see kind of like the cut below. Let's say. All right, so it's going to be Vance Worley getting a run out here. A little bit of mop-up time, not complete mop-up time. That's a strikeout on a 3-5. 1 out as he gets Bus. The Bus was stopped at the red light and searched for various paraphernalia. That's a liner to Hardy. 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. And the pitcher spot, so that's going to be it for Valdez. Let's go ahead and we'll give Oberholzer a shot here. Oh, it's okay, John. Yeah, that's. There is a method to my madness. Let's give Ortega a pinch hit. Could go with Choi, but let's go with Ortega this time. Nobody on, 2 outs. Rafael. Can you get something started with a 2 column? Nope, 5-8. Grounded to third base. Oh, actually grounded to first base. My bad. I was looking off the wrong side. Get kind of used to looking at the right-hand side of the pitcher's card. 5-8 is a grounded to first. That's a U3 as Davis gets there, and it's the 7th inning stretch. Brought to you by 7th Inning Stretch, your one-stop shop for all kinds of really bad jokes that really don't make any sense whatsoever, and thus they are 7th inning stretches. So, such as, why did the D6 cross the road to get to the other side? Anyway, Oberholzer coming in here. That works for any It works for any sided die, by the way, probably. But Oberholzer, right? I was just realizing there the other day, I was talking to somebody who played baseball against Oberholzer here in the Delaware Valley somewhere. I think he went to, I'm pretty sure he went to high school here in Delaware somewhere. And he was good. And I was like, yeah. Oh, yeah, the guy said he was good. And I was like, yeah, I guess that just shows you just how good is. Because Oberholzer wasn't so good in real life. Yeah, or that all the stalls have been soiled with disgusting stuff. I don't know. 4-6 is a walk, so Oberholzer to the rescue. These no-run innings are getting kind of old. No, just kidding. Let's see, Manny Machado. We may get a batter's card roll here eventually, and there's one. 1-7. Grounder to second base. The runner will advance. 4-3. That's a second base C, which is a runner advance. So Machado moves the runner up. 1 out. Tries to get through the hole, but doesn't get there. So Davis now with a runner at second. 4-12. Lefty is a grounder back to the pitcher. He may survive this. Oberholzer is a 2 rated. One of his few redeeming values is his range, and we get a leaner, so I have to re-roll. That's a 13. That's a little bit better. Now, where did my pitcher's chart go? There you are. 2 and 13 is a G1. This would get him out of the inning, as long as he doesn't give up an error. What's his error rating? E40 is the comeback to the redeeming nature of his. So E40, and oh boy, this is 7-11. It is going to be an error. I spoke too soon. E1, runner advances 1 base. So Brett, sorry man, maybe you can get a. So they are going to play with the in. I guess they have to play with the in. We'll play with the corners in here. Try and give him a chance at a double play. 5-7 righty. That's a walk. Gonna load the bases. Got scared of Trumbo, understandably, and now the bases are juiced for Steve Pearce. Not the way you want it to go. Let me see something here. All right, so Jones is a walk. Oberholzer's a left-hander, so Machado is not a ground ball C. He's a fly ball left. I remember that roll. The other ones, I believe, were you don't get an E rating on a batter's. You don't get an error check on a batter. So it's a fly ball to left. That's going to mean that he does not advance to second on that play. That means he does go to second on the error on the Davis one. And then the walk is still a walk off Oberholzer. Okay, so that's where we stand. And then the grounder does move up on Trumbo's walk. So Pearce, we already rolled the D20. Here we go. So lefty against righty here. My bad. 6-9. This is going to be. So again, they're playing infield in here. So third base B is with an infield in. Batter safe, lead runner out. So they cut down the runner at home. 5-2. Everybody advances a base. Fielder's choice. And so now 2 outs. And Oberholzer may still get out of this inning without a run allowed. We'll see. Scope. Maybe, hey Larry Rice, maybe cutting him too much slack here. Let's see. 5-6 righty. Oh boy, can he get an 18, 19, or 20? He needs the narrow split here to do him a favor. And it's a 13. That's a single. It's going to score a run. So Oberholzer allows a single to Scope, makes it 8-2. That's his second run batted in of the day. Wieters 2-5, another walk. Load is going to force home a run. What's that? 1, 2, 3 walks for Oberholzer. It's not. I feel like it's not Oberholzer. It's Oberholzer. I actually knew an Oberholzer, and I don't think that guy would want to know much. Let's see. They'll let Stubbs hit now. Trying to eat some innings here, and Oberholzer's having none of it. I'm gonna make sure I do not get an inning pitched here. So Stubbs in the game with the bases loaded again, and 6-4 against a righty is a grounder to short. This might be able to get the job done. This with 2 outs, 1 E14, 1 and 5. He does get to it. E14. And a 10, he does make the play there. That will be the final out. So 2 runs across. That is going to be 6, 7, 8, 9. 9-2. Going to the 8th. It's been a bit of a long game. I spent a little bit of time early on doing a little bit of discussion about the mechanism. So that's why we're carrying on a little too long. Okay. Tyler Wilson. Only 1 inning for Worley. It was a very effective inning. Now they'll bring in Tyler Wilson to try and finish out this game. Could have had a chance at getting Worley a save if we had let it go. 5-5 righty is a walk. Calhoun. 111, that's a pop out to first. 1 down. Mike Trout, he's 0 for 3. That's a 3-7 is a walk. Wilson's like, let's make this a little interesting. Let's walk a couple guys. Let's throw a tater to Crone. 6-3. It's a fly ball to left. It is deep. Is it going to be deep enough? Pierce 4-E8. Not good. 4-15 though. I think he is going to be able to get to it. Then it's the question of the E8. 4-15 is an F2. So as long as the most likely roll would be 15 that would get him, and it's going to be an out, so does make the play, and runners will have to hold. 2 down, Cliff Pennington. Hey, Mark Russell. This is Camden Yards. Yeah, it doesn't look like it, but it is. 6-8, batting from the left side. Second base grounder, Scope 2, E8. Batting from the left side, so he's not being held, or it's not responsible, so he's going to get to it. And a 13 on the E8, I think, is still a play made. I'm pretty sure. Yep. Okay, that's it. That's it for the top of the 8th. No runs, no hits, 2 left. We'll stick with Wilson. Everybody's asleep. Well, I guess it still is a little bit early on a Sunday. It seems like. All right, let's cut Obi-Wan, Homer Obi. You didn't give him any homers here. Let's go with let's go with Octor. He hasn't pitched in a while. One inning for Oberholzer. I think it's a success. He only gave up 2 runs. You know, that's not too bad. J.J. Hardy. 3-8, fly ball to center field. Trout makes the catch, 1 out. Just going to try and move this along. 5-6, righty is a double. With the Angels pitching. Oh boy, that was almost a slip there. Potential wild pitch. He doesn't have a wild pitch rating. With the Angels pitching, there's not really a quick inning, but 5-11 righty is going to be a fly ball to right field. Calhoun 2 and 1 is going to be a double, right? Yes, it is. Goes from bad to worse, and then let's see, what is he? E5 and a 14 has a 2-base error. Double and a 2-base error is batter to third. Double, E9, run comes in. It's now 10-2. Piling on here. Chris Davis, can he jack another one here? 5-6 again, lefty. That is a potential normal home run. 1-13. It is gone. We got 2 ones in a row. How about that? Second home run of the game for Chris Davis, and it's now become even more of a laugher. I was going to say it's gone from laugher to abomination, but I don't know. Trumbo, 110, strikes out. That's not a surprise. Pierce, 2-9, pops out to second. So that's another 3 runs. Maybe we should have left Oberholzer in. Octor, baby. And Wilson will try to close this out here with a second inning. On the mound, Marte, 6-6, 1-18 single to 17. So single there. Now Nick Buss. Get off the bus, Buss. 2-5 walk. Well, it ain't over till it's over, right? I guess we gotta throw out the old Yogi line. Bandy, 6-6. Another one of these. Another single. Loads the bases. Wilson, 3-inning relief, so it's not. He's not tired. He just sucks. All right, pinch hitter for the Angels. They're working at it. We're gonna go with old Ji-Man Choi here. The lefty. They're gonna need a lot of these little rally type things here to get anywhere near. 5-6 lefty is a single. That's gonna score 2. If you look at G-Man's card, this may be the first single ever in 2016 for G-Man, because he doesn't have any on his card. Gets one off the pitcher's card. So, first and third, nobody out. And a little bit of a development here. It's now, what, 12? Let's see, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 2-4. So if they can triple this current run total, they would then have a chance to win this game. But that's a grounder to the pitcher. They will get the lead runner. 1-6. Wait, no. What am I doing? That's Ortega. He's not up, right? 1-6 is a fly ball to center. I forgot to take Ortega's card out from last time. So that's 1 out. You know what? Let's see. Simmons, 1-6, fly ball to center field B. Question mark. We're going to say they let Bandy score. They're going to hold. I know that. You know what? That's the B question mark. We should really do the roll, shouldn't we? Let's play by the rules. Let's not go loose. I was going to loosen it up there and just say, you know what, let's let them score the run, but let's not. Because with Bandy, they need more runs than that, and to get thrown out at home would just be bad. So Cole Calhoun with 1 out, runners at the corners. 2-6. There's a single, so he scores anyway. That's why you let it play out. First and third still 12-5 now, and you've got Trout up with 2 on. So this is kind of like that vote total from earlier in the week. I feel like there's more runs that are just keep coming in. 4-6 righty. That's a pop out to short, so the big name on the diamond does not get the job done there. So now 2 outs, and maybe this will come to an end before it's time. Crone, 6-4 righty. Fly ball to center field. Jones, there is a sliver of a chance that he misses this. 2 on the range, and a 12 he gets to it. E2. It's a 6. I think that's still a play made, but let's check it. Make sure. Check the returns. It is an out, and that is your ball game. So they get 3 across in the 9th that don't really mean anything. 5 for the Angels. 12 for the O's. And that is that. 25-20 for Baltimore now on the season, as they edge closer to the Blue Jays for that final. Actually, they're currently in the final spot, the Orioles. So they would be edging closer to 3rd place. This is the standings before the game. So as you can see, Baltimore goes 25-20. The Angels, they aren't able to move out of last place with the loss. They stay there because that makes absolutely all the sense in the world. And that's too bad for them. Yeah! What's wrong earlier? Hanging on the ceiling. I don't get it. All right. So that's that. We got a game out of the way. Got it under our belt. I don't want to say out of the way. It sounds so. But I'll tell you what, for a month now, it's just been kind of tough to say. I need to get I got to get something on the table. I've been wanting to make a video, and just not always feasible. But just would like to close out and say, none of us are perfect. We all have our faults. We all have things we'd like to do better. The thing we need to most of all remember about all of this is that this is a dang hobby. It's not all that serious. We have fun with it. We take it seriously when it's on the table. If we don't, then it wouldn't be a hobby that has some kind of meaning or passion to us, right? I mean that's part, part of it is there's a time where it is passionate and it's on the table. My problem right now is I feel like that there's just been a little too much passion that has been generating from the drama of outside the tabletop stuff, you know. And I mean, I think that's been wearing on me just as much as any of my obligations, which take time away, and all this is just, you know, I have a channel. Earl Shamblin and I have a channel. You know, it has a title. He made it many years ago. Does that make us experts? I don't know. I mean, I guess so. I mean, I guess I would say I feel like I'm a reluctant person that people come to, you know. I wanted to make these videos to kind of like have a chronicle of what's going on, you know, and I really don't need to feel like this is some kind of like he's better than she, or that channel's better than this one, or this guy isn't worthy because I've got 10 games and he only has 3, or, you know, he checks a Facebook group more than this guy and all this stuff. You know, I don't need that. So if you're on my Facebook group and you start acting that way, you're gonna go. I don't care whether you mean to act that way or not. You're gonna go. If you're gonna come on there and you're gonna put little comments acting like somebody isn't good enough because they don't check every day of their life about something, about people. I'm doing the best I can, okay? I don't care whether you're talking about me or they're talking about you, because you don't have that time either. I don't expect you to. I don't expect you to be on a Facebook group. I don't expect you to check my channel every day. I don't expect you to do it. I don't expect you to go to anybody else's channel. It's your time. You have responsibilities. You have family. You have all this stuff, just like me and just like everybody else. So if anybody's going to tell you that you shouldn't just be a drive-by person in this hobby, and you've got to like buy up every last dang game that's out there, and you've got to know how to play them better than anybody else, and well, frankly, you don't, because you don't. You know, you can't, because there are certain people who feel like they absolutely play everything better than everybody else, and they are the ultimate fan. And that kind of person, I don't really need them, okay? I just want someone who wants to be real, who wants to enjoy this, who just wants to be out there having a good time, doing it their way. If you're going to post pictures, if you're going to post a video, whatever, cool, awesome. Just lose the freaking attitude already. I don't need it. I hope I don't come out here, come on here acting like I know every dang mechanism. I'm sure I screw things up. I will be the first to admit to you that I screw crap up. If you want to point it out in the comments, that's fine. I've kind of gotten over that. You know, there was a point in time when people would do that, and it would annoy the crap out of me. And I'm like, you know what? Now it's just I'm happy people watch. You know what? I'm really just glad that there's someone there who cares enough to want to check it out, because there are times that doesn't happen, and that doesn't happen for everybody either. There's lots of guys out here who put videos together, put their heart and soul into this, and want you to watch. And that would mean so much to each of them. So much, if you would. But we're all in the same boat, right? I mean, like, we only have so much time. We've got 24 hours. You know, you have maybe, I mean, if I'm lucky, 6 hours for sleep, right? Like an 8-hour work day a lot of times. And you know, start doing the math. Okay, most of us have some kind of a commute that adds into it. We got to have some family time. We got to have, you know, so it's just something gets neglected when you have to be like 24/7, 365 on the ball over everything, right? So I don't mean to vent at all of you. I'm just saying, I'm being real, and I hope you all are real, because I feel like that's when we're all at our best, is when we're just not putting up any false pretenses, not being condescending, and just I don't need that in my life. If you want me to stop checking a group, then start making. Actually, that's not going to happen. I will check that group, but if you're going to start making comments about me, whether you're making them about me or not, if there's a way I can perceive that it's about me, first off, is I'm probably going to come to you if you don't have a reputation. But if you do, then you've already probably caused yourself some issues. So, and I've talked to multiple people who feel the same way about it as I do. So I don't think I've done anything outside of what anybody else would expect. Lots of other people have done the same thing that I did. And, as far as like blocking somebody, and I would do it again, because I don't need to see it. And I don't need to see anybody else be made. Like, even if it's about you, the person who is on there reading, and you read a comment that says, you need to be on here all the time because that's the only way you can be a real fan or whatever. Screw that. Screw them. So, yeah, I mean, Tribe fan. I mean, Dave S. brings up Tribe fan. I'll mention him for one reason. I mean, I thought about doing this on my old channel because there's a lot of people who subscribe to Earl, Tabletop Earl, who maybe aren't my greatest fans, and that's fine. I mean, I don't appeal to everybody, just like he doesn't appeal to everybody. That's fine. Tribe fan has been there pretty much from the beginning. I started doing videos over on that channel, and it was pretty soon after that I saw Tribe fan. Like, cool, hey. And I didn't even have an Indians game on in that first TBL. There was Cleveland wasn't a part of it. So it was pretty neat seeing him. And he's one of these guys that whiles away, plays games. A lot of times he'll play games for teams that just were utterly sucky. But that's something that he loves doing. I think he just loves learning and trying to better other teams. But check out his channel. There's a lot of them. Sports Time Machine, and there's so many that are out there. I feel, you start not mentioning people, and then it's not so good. So I don't want to go. But I feel like those are two guys that don't always get their due, and but there are a lot of guys out there who work hard, put out lots of videos, and make sure you check them out. If again, when you have time, if you don't, that's okay. Just hopefully there are other people here who, so when a channel like this one or some of the other ones, there are plenty of well supported channels who end up having to take breaks. If you feel like you're missing something, you've got stuff out there. So please, frequent what they do when time allows. But I'm just here to say, I needed a break, and I'm hoping that I'll be back more now. But I needed a break. My family needed time with me for the last month, and that's where it stood. And something had to give, and it was this. And there was even another hobby that I had thought about dealing with, and it's like I haven't done anything with that too. That's the way it goes sometimes. So, Sportsman Z, yeah, there's another one. So Dave S. and So yeah, Dave S. John Wise, baseball demos hanging around. I was dancing on the ceiling. Yeah, that's true. Padres, yes, baseball demos. Padres, this is an interesting one. I don't know how they've done it. Larry Rice, I'm trying to just... Mark Russell dropped in for a bit. Glenn Perot got up, and Perot and Larry Harris right up top. So another thing is, I just have to acknowledge if somebody here who I've brought up some dramatic stuff, there are some people who aren't going to like that whatsoever, and I understand. I'm sorry to have brought it out here somewhat. It won't happen very often, if it ever. But it's just I just needed to tell everybody that I'm. We have a Facebook group. I don't silence people. I try to work with reasonable people, and like 99.99% of you are reasonable. In fact, in the last month, I've dealt with 3 or 4 people who are very, very much willing to work with me on a couple of things just to try and make sure that things are, on the up and up, and that we aren't, like, in this group we have a lot of different types of posters and people who, some people like video, some people will find videos that way. And honestly, if you are a small YouTube channel that just started out, and you want to try and get a few people to watch your videos, go ahead and post in there. I mean, I do point out that, like, that is the group for this channel. And so if someone creates a group similar to the name of this channel, but it's not ours, they're just, you can draw your conclusions of what that type of person is, and use that to just think about, it's something you don't do. But anyway, if you want to post in Tabletop Baseball Plus, your channel, a video or 2 or 3, I mean, as long as you, I think, if it's for the purpose of trying to promote your channel, I'm fine with it. I got to the point in there at one point where I felt like the YouTube links to videos, which I rarely post a video link, and it's the channel about it's the group about our own channel, and I really don't post links like that, right? I just felt like those were a little bit outweighing things like standings updates. Some people post photos, some people post questions. It just seemed like there was a little bit of it was a little out of balance. So I had done my best to just try and say, okay, well, I feel like if you're producing many videos, like we've on our channel produced, there have been times when we've been putting out nearly 10 videos a week probably. And I feel like if we were to then post 10 video links on there, that's going to kind of like get pretty old for a lot of the people who are looking for other stuff. And my observations over that whole time frame was from people who posted links. The more that the links were posted, the less engagement they got. That was my perception. Fewer comments, fewer likes. So that was where I was coming from, is like, okay, I feel like we need to make sure that we're allowing content that, just try and make sure that the balance is okay. So then when someone does post a video link, it isn't just like scroll wheel, I'm going by it because, oh gee, this is another video link. I mean, I believe this is a very logical approach, and I think it was working, but there were people who took it extremely personally And when someone takes something extremely personally, when it isn't even about them, that's when it starts making me feel like when there are things that are posted by the same person who are sly, or the comments are like sly and baited and passive aggressive and all this stuff. There's something to it, because that person feels like everything is about them too. So it wasn't. It was just, people check it out a couple times a day, 3 times a day. I don't know. Some people check it out more than others. I just want everybody to be able to access the content they want. And you could scroll down, I guess. But there's probably, you get past 3 or 4. I mean, I'm the same way. I'll go onto the group. I'll go 1, 2, 3. If I see something, and the way that Facebook works in a group, it's basically ranked, or not ranked, but like the way that it comes up is by the last commented thing. This is by the way that I can tell. This is from what I can tell. This is the way it works. The last commented thing. So you could have something that's 6 days old, and somebody commented on it 3 hours ago. Someone posted a link 4 hours ago that was new, right? Or posted something about their thing. But there's that thing from 6 days ago that was just commented on that goes ahead of it. And if I see that, I don't know about you. This is my view on the human psyche. If I see that post, to me that clicks in my brain and says, okay, I've reached the last point where I've looked at the group. And then I don't look at it anymore. I go and find something else to do, because I feel like, okay, I'm caught up. And I bet a lot of people are like that. And so my point is, there are times, I think, where things get lost and you don't see something that might be important to you just because of the way that Facebook does their stuff. I don't know if it's an algorithm or whatever. I mean, I'm sure it is, but there may be more to it too. Like, I don't know. All I'm saying is, I'm just trying to moderate this in a way that gives everybody a chance to have their say, and but don't be a jerk. If you're not a jerk, we're gonna be fine, right? I mean, you may think I'm a jerk, and if you do, then do yourself a favor and unfollow. I mean, it's fine. I get it. I'm sure there are plenty of people in this world who would, probably drove past me one day. I was having a bad day, and I might have, I don't know, I might have done something that they didn't like, and they all of a sudden think, oh, that guy must be a jerk. Probably lots of people like that in the world think I'm a jerk. Fine. I'm no problem with that. The drama, yeah. So, and this was a good game. Well, it wasn't a close game, but it was fun at the end there. So, anyway, let's try and dial this back in. So, a couple of other little news things, because it seems like I'm just rambling on. The new Pro National Golf set from Play is released, hopefully on its way to me now. I was grateful that Keith Avalone at Play actually had a chance to look at things ahead of time a little bit, which gave me a chance, hopefully, my feedback on some potential. One of the things that's happened with so this will be the third set of the Pro National Golf Tour that I've gotten. Set 2 had variances from set 1 as far as name spellings and things like that, and so I tried to provide feedback as to this third version, ways that names were misspelled, things like that, just because playing 30 tournaments with a group of golfers, you see these names over and over and over again. But for me, the other thing is that I use these spreadsheets where you're looking up names and stuff, and I just, maybe it's a little bit of OCD. I'm not really much like that, but I provided the feedback. He was looking for it, so I think hopefully when I get this set, I'll see fewer anomalies, or, you know, whatever you want to say, changes in differences in the things. So, you know, and I've definitely been getting some itch to do some other things. I think part of the problem is that I've been on this, like, quest to get to accomplish things, finish them things, and as I do that, what's left on my table right now are only things that are like 80% done, which is on one hand good because I've only got 20% left, but on the other hand also you kind of get to think places and projects where they feel like you've been doing them a while and you need to sort of like re-energize, and maybe that was a little bit of this. So, but I've been looking at like the Strat football I have over there. I haven't ever played that, or I mean, I horsed around with it for a little bit once. I'm like, you know what, I got to get these other projects done. You know, so, but my goal is for TBL 2.0 be done by the end of the year, if not sooner. I'm going to really try and do a hard, as hard of a press I can on it as I can on it, because it's just like the best intentions kind of thing. But anyway, so that's where it stands. I could very well get some thumbs downs on this video because I say some pretty like pointed stuff. But I mean, none of us are above criticism, and you know, I'm cool with it. But well, you know what? I'm cool with you having your opinion. It doesn't necessarily mean that I have to just like sit by and let it go. You know, don't be surprised what the consequences are if you are going to try and take pot shots. So, okay. Well, John, I'll tell you what. If you go to, hang on here. I have a keyboard here. Let me see if I can type this in. Actually, hold on just a second. I need to find this link. If you like the score sheet, oh boy, I'm not logged in. Why would this ever log me out of my own blog? I don't understand it. I mean, I know I don't use it much. So I'm gonna get you a link straight to. Oh boy, I guess that's why. A data breach. That's not it. Switch sites. There we go. Just hang on. I'll get it for you. And it's in the menu and widgets, I think. Visit site. That's what I wanted to do. I'm trying to like get to this thing and it's not working. It's because it can't work. Scorekeeping. All right. So here is the link. I'm going to put it right here. So that will take you to the scorekeeping page, and on there, I believe, if you go to TBL scorecard version 2.0, I need to click it here. Yeah. Just a moment. All right. So, I mean, this is the scorecard here. I guess I've never really done it in a way that's been so close up, but this is the scorecard you can get there, and it's got two sides. So if you print double-sided, you will end up having it on both sides, which is nice. You can see that is the actual physical link right there. If you want to, heck, you know what? I'll post this right here. There. So that's the actual physical link to the PDF itself. So if you want to download that and give it a try, you can print it out on your own. You can you could put it onto a you could actually load it. You could download it and then go to Staples site, load it into their form, send it to your local Staples. They would print it out for you probably within the next 2 hours. You could stop by, drop by, whatever. I can't talk. Pick them up, and you'd have nice, high quality, very robust sheets. And you could probably do that at any printing shop. I don't know. I guess there's probably Office Depot and all these other ones too. So baseball demos. So that one is also on that first link. So if you go to the first link I posted, and again, these, it's all free. I mean, a lot of us try and produce stuff for the community's sake, as long as it can be things that are not like proprietary from the companies. I'm very much okay. Well, that's cool, John. I'm just trying to, the printer ink can be expensive too. That's why I'm saying it, because it seems like okay, another thing that I hate. Here's another hate thing. I shouldn't say it, but I hate that you get a printer and I think the way that it's set up is over time it assumes that because it's like 3 months since you changed the ink, that your ink must be running out. I have had that thing go for months and months and months and months since I had the ink running out symbol come up, and it will still be printing. And then eventually it does run out and you have to change it. And I mean, that ink is, I feel like ink is as expensive as the printer anymore, but it's just it's an option. So, and yes, Dave S. First place Bills, tough one today. Seahawks are probably gonna do a number on us. We're missing our best pass defending linebacker. So we'll just have to see how that goes. I've been liking some of the safety depth that we have. I don't know about our cornerbacks other than White and maybe Wallace, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. So anyway, thank you guys for hanging in there with this for a while. Thank you for tolerating my venting. We'll be back soon with another game. It won't be too much. It won't be as long as the last time between games. So have a good day. We will talk to you soon here on the channel. And be kind. Hey, whether you love the election, whether you hate the election, be kind. A little bit of celebrating, not a big deal. Just both sides. 4 years, if the Republicans win, Republicans, don't go and be jerks. And I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of, obviously the president was pretty brazen, and I'm sure that's a part of it, but just be kind. That's all I can say. There's a lot of people in this world, and not everybody is obnoxious like the person that they may or may not have voted for. So we'll all be better off if we can just try and treat others the way we like to be treated ourselves. So that's my golden rule talk of the day. See you soon, everybody. Thanks for watching. Oh yeah, if you could hit the like button, I'd appreciate that. Thanks.